Hi, happy Sunday. Today is March the 8th, and this is Rod. Welcome to the channel of Jesus and Silver. So today I'm having some video difficulties. I can't get my editor to work, so I'm just going to shoot this kind of raw style here. I'm not very good at YouTube, so I apologize for that. But today I want to talk about um, freedom, and it's a buzzword in our society. And I think it invokes strong feelings here in our country. And if you ask different people on the street what their definition of freedom was, you're going to hear completely different interpretations. But yet we all have some sort of idea of what freedom is. But each person has their own deep personal thoughts about freedom. But for those of us that are followers of Christ, we have to think of freedom differently. True freedom is kind of almost an oxymoron in nature. I mean, true freedom is a gift from God, but it's only gained when we surrender. And then when we're in our submission and we're putting our life down on the line and picking up our cross to follow Jesus because he surrendered his life first. That's freedom. It's a radical trust. It's not built upon the things that this world has to offer, but instead it's rooted only in Jesus because Jesus is the only thing, Jesus is, I don't think he's a person, but the only thing that will satisfy our heart's desires to be free. And we here in America, we have all the amendments, freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, the freedom to right to bear arms. We have all the freedoms. And we kind of then interpret all those things to mean other freedoms. And once again, that goes back to some of those arguments that everybody has individually. But today I want to just kind of study a little bit and talk about that true freedom of Christ and how that can impact our life. It empowers you because he has created us to be free, but he also has created us to live, and he calls us to live. So I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, do you walk in freedom each day, or do you let the troubles and anxiety of the world weigh you? Are you desperately clinging to something other than God, that's preventing you from grasping the freedom that's being offered? And do you believe that life changing freedom is not only possible, but it's also what God, our Creator, wants for us? So I want to think about Galatians 5, verse 1. I wish I could put this up on the screen, but it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. And so if we think back to COVID, right? Back in 2020, man, it's hard to believe that's been 6 years from now. But man, that was a hard year. I think everybody felt it in some way or another. We all had confusion, anxiety, depression, fear, and then there was anger, there was hate. People were mad if you wore a mask. They were mad if you didn't wear a mask. You couldn't go to restaurants. It was a whole thing, right? But all those things, the confusion, anxiety, depression, fear, they took root in our country in a way that can almost push out any glimmer of hope people have. But if Christ had truly set you free, set me free, hope is already out. ours. We already have it because it's ours for both giving and receiving. Because Jesus is going to give it to us, and we can also help give it to others. But we have to truly grasp that every moment of our lives is under the loving, watchful eyes of the Father. And for him, there's not a surprise. But without him, how can we have any hope? Every one of us are going to walk through our trials of life, our seasons of pain, our loss, and our grief. But hope is born out of freedom that Jesus offers. And here's the thing, we never lose it. He who promised is faithful. And we don't have to wonder if he's ever going to come through. We may not know when, we may not know where or how, but somewhere deep in our soul, we know. We know he will. He always does. So then, for us, we have to surrender to him and his perfect plan. We have to trust completely in him so that we find that freedom that he wants for us. We shackle ourselves here on this world. We chase our dreams, we chase our feelings and emotions, and we live white knuckling it, they say, like going 100 miles an hour. We're trying to find the best job. We're trying to find whatever that is, make more money, pay our bills even in some cases. But we uncurl our fingers from the things that we hold tight and just allow him to fill our hands and fill our lives with what he wants for us. Then that's when we're truly free. And that's the freedom that we want. That's when we find true hope. So, over the next few days, I want you to think about that and ask Jesus to remind you of your hopeful future. And then we're supposed to share the good news, to find a way to share hope with them. Find someone else that might need that hope, that good news, and share with them today. So, speaking of that, if you need or have any questions about Jesus, your relationship with Jesus, how to find Jesus, let me know. Leave a comment. But share, subscribe, so that others also can find this and hopefully find a way to Jesus. But I thank you for listening. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.